And now exclusively for the YouTube. So there are people who have short attention spans, right? And they don't want a super long video. So I'm going to make it a point to try and say everything like a brief summary of what this video is going to be in 1 minute or less. This is the Lexicon of Purpose. What is your why? So if you've ever seen the movie Collateral Beauty, what is your why? If you've not seen the movie Collateral Beauty, go watch the movie Collateral Beauty. And so then that's 40 seconds. That's what I'm talking about. What is your why? Now, for those of you who have a bit of a longer attention span, I could talk for a while, so I'm going to talk for a while. I don't know how long. I don't know how long. I mean, I don't like to make timed videos. I don't like to sit within the constraints of a short attention span. I don't have a short attention span. So I will watch the entire Harry Potter series from movie 1 all the way to movie 8 or whatever it is, right? I think it is 8. 7 in 2 parts. I will watch that bad boy all day long. I will watch the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy extended director's cut, the whole thing straight through, right? Going to the bathroom and eating in between while watching it. Actually, I'll eat while I watch it and I'll go to the bathroom. I say this because I have done it. I've also watched 6-hour YouTube videos on various topics. I don't have a short attention span. And if you want to be an educated person, you should not have a short attention span. Ready Player 2, because I'm looking at the book. I sat while my daughter was at gymnastics and I read like 5 chapters. And it was like, wow, you read all of that so quickly? It's like, it wasn't really quickly. It was like an hour and a half. But yes, I read all of that. And I focused on it. Like, that's what I was doing. And it's easy read because I enjoy the book. So if it was like, what's another book I have on my desk here? The Great Reset. I'll talk about that one. That would probably be a slower read because I'd have to research and look and take time and learn as I go, right? And it's not really something I want to read. It's just something that I'm curious about. Some things you read to learn, some things you read for fun. Reading for fun? Yeah, reading for fun. Excuse me. It is 4:48 in the morning. So that's how I know that it was real, because I woke up. I actually woke up an hour ago, 3:45, and I could not sleep because I needed to get started. When I went to go get my master's, this was a common thing where I'd wake up early and do schoolwork. I got into the habit of waking up early. But then recently, it's like I really had nothing to wake up early for. Like, I'd wake up early and do grades, and then I'd wake up early and, play Minecraft. But then after a while, I was like, why am I waking up early to play Minecraft? I'd rather sleep. I'm tired. So I'd just sleep, right? Like, even yesterday, I woke up, I think I woke up at like 6 o'clock, which is late for me because I go to work. I leave for work at around 6:30, 6:40. So getting up at 6 o'clock is like literally just enough time to get ready and go. Like, I get up and go to work, which I don't like to do. I like to get up and do things and chill and start getting for work, get ready for work like 5:45, 6 o'clock. But here I am making YouTube videos again, but now with a purpose. The Lexicon of Purpose. Okay. And let's first talk about the Lexicon of Lexicon. It's actually a very interesting thing. And just so that way I don't have to switch off my computer here. I could jump to, do cuts and all that. But honestly, I just don't see it as necessary for me to put that much editing effort into a video that I'm just going to tell you how I feel, right? This is educational, man. This is not there will be times where I will go out there and you'll see cool videos of, edits and all that stuff. And uh, that, like, I'll probably do the Lexicon of Discipline and fly a drone behind me while I'm running. Um, that's a thought that I just had, but it's cold outside, so I may not do that. Like, I don't like to go running in the cold. I might run in my mother's treadmill. I don't know. I don't know, man. But I got it on my phone. The lexicon definition. Okay, I knew what it was, but I'm just telling you. The vocabulary of a person, language, or branch of knowledge. The English lexicon. It's a dictionary, man. It's a dictionary. So my name as lexicon, Professor Lexicon. I just think it sounds cool. But it did have an origination. I didn't come up with that, so it's actually pretty funny. I always hated my name, right? So, Mom, if you're watching this, thank you for the cool name, right? Like, and this is her. Oh, my son finally enjoys his life and his name, because I hated my name. Alexis is a girl's name. That's what I've always heard, right? Like, that was the beginning of school for me. Alexis is a girl's name. Well, obviously I'm not a girl, right? So apparently it's not a girl's name. Dummy. But I got upset, and that's childhood, man. That's what being a kid is. Kids are mean to you, and then they bully you, and then you change your name. So then I went by my middle name, which is Jose, right? Which my father loved because his name is Jose. My mother hated it because they were divorced. So she hated the fact that people were calling her son Jose. She refused to call me Jose, but she knew that I didn't like my name, so she called me AJ. So then AJ was my family name, right? And then I had Jose as my people that I meet in the world name, right? And my actual name is Alexis. And that's what started my whole, fluidity with names. I've had a lot of names. Guys. I've had a lot of people call me a lot of things over the years. And, like, even at one point I had some guy calling me Al, which I absolutely hate. At the time it was all right. I was like, okay, you can call me Al, I guess, but I didn't really like it. I was like, Al, not Al, bro. Especially by then, because I was being called Lex, and I liked everybody calling me Lex. But anyway, yeah, so the progression of my name, it was in high school. I went by Jose, and my name is Jose. Nobody knew my name was Alexis. Like, how would you know? Nobody called me. Only if you came to my house would you know that, or be hinted at the fact that there was more to my name, because my parents and everybody was calling me AJ. Nobody called me Jose in my house. They called me AJ. So if you were a good friend of mine and you came to my house and you heard somebody call me AJ, then it was like, AJ. And I was like, yeah, my name is actually Alexis Jose. So my family calls me AJ. And then it was cool because you were my friend, right? So that person would not make fun of me or make me feel bad about my name. That being said, when I went to high school, the yearbook came out, the first year, freshman year, the yearbook came out, and it goes by the name that you are registered with the school, your birth certificate. It's Alexis Jose. So all of my friends, because I wouldn't say super popular, but relatively popular. I had friends. I had a good amount of people who knew me. I was a charming child. So everybody was like, Alexis. Okay, and here we go again. That shit that I don't like. Alexis is a girl's name. I was like, right? But that was always coming from kids like I never gave a shit about. Like, those weren't even kids that I really liked. So as now I'm older, right? It was like, now I got to deal with this shit, right? And I had a huge crush on a girl back then, and she was the one who said, I like Lexus, because then I could call you Lex. And then Lex was it, man. Like, I love Lex at that point. I was like, yeah, of course I love Lex, because I was like, oh, this girl's fucking hot, and she's calling me Lex. I'm down. And so I was now cool with my name as Lex, and that's what everybody called me, Lex. Okay. And then it was like in college at one point, I'm sure we were all drinking or something, and somebody was like, Lexicon! And then it was like every once in a while people call me Lexicon. But in college, that's when I first heard Lexicon, somebody calling me Lexicon. And then I looked up Lexicon and I was like, oh, it's a dictionary. That's cool. Like, because I am a kind of guy who likes to, give the meanings of things and analyze things. And I'm a philosophical kind of a person. So I was like, yeah, I like Lexicon. And I made it my email. So I've been Lexicon 1 for a while, right? Like anybody who knows my email is like, oh, yeah, Lexicon. And now it's kind of fitting because we're talking about the Lexicon of Purpose. And this is my purpose. Everybody has a purpose. And what is your purpose? And when I look at the world today, especially as a teacher, I see a lot of no purpose, a lack of purpose. And that's really the problem, okay? Is you don't know what you want. And it's not even a what you want. It's a what is your purpose? What your purpose is not your want. It's actually your why. That's why, like I was saying, Will Smith, Collateral Beauty. What is your why? Because that is like, why did I wake up at 3:45 this morning? Because my mind was just ready to come out here and get started. I made it. Well, I had the Patreon page made, but now like I'm making the videos for the intro. I'm making this video, and then I'm going to get into sitting down and actually, well, I have the curriculum, organizing it. Okay. And what am I doing to create this school? To act like what energy am I putting into creating this school? Okay, the Lexicon of Purpose. Because my purpose is to educate, and at this point, okay, if you're 12 minutes into the video, then you're ready to hear this, guys, because as a teacher, I'm going to tell you, if your child is in public education, you might want to consider taking your child out of public education. Okay. My wife had sent me a Candace Owens video on her saying, take your kid out of public education. So I always say that, right? Because who am I, right? But I am I have my degrees on the wall, right? My mother actually brought me my high school diploma. I had forgotten all about, like, I forgot. I knew I graduated from high school, but I forgot that she had made it into this nice plaque. It was at her house in New York. When she came to live here, she brought it, and she was like, you should be on your wall too. So those are my degrees, guys, right? Master of Education. I have a Master of Education. And that's, not a BS Master of Education. That is, magna cum laude. I top of my class, guys. Okay, so I am an educated person, and I do have a bit of knowledge when it comes to education and the educational system. And I'm telling you, as a public school teacher, public school is no longer good. It's not good. And now I'm going to tell you why. It has nothing to do with the system itself. The system is doing the best that it can, but it is broken by people who treat the system as a babysitting service. People have that mentality of, oh, teachers are glorified babysitters. No, they are not. But when you, as a parent, have that as your mentality, then it is a babysitting service for you. Okay. And then you're sending your child to our school, and you're not disciplining them, and you're not doing the things that you should be doing as a parent. And then our school becomes a babysitting service, because it's a very big mess. I probably could go on forever and ever and ever about a very big mess, right? Recently, my principal had sent out a survey asking us a lot of questions, and I'm not going to get into the personal because I don't want to jeopardize my job as a teacher. I love teaching, and I love teaching at my school and I love what I do. But it is now time for me to change the way that I teach. And I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that for a long period of time, because then I'm a babysitter. Okay. So, all right, let me just try and then explain this in a short, efficient manner. I don't want to babble on forever, because I do have to get into my curriculum. So we're at 15 minutes. Okay, let's see if I can do this in another 15 minutes. There are only so many teachers, there are only so many administrators, there are only so many certified, educated people who are willing to be in the education system educating your children. That's it. Okay? Now, is this a situation that you can throw money at? Perhaps, but to an extent, because if I was paid $100,000 or more to do my job, then how much are the kids going to get when it comes to supplies and resources and all that? It's not a money thing, because we spend tons of money on education and it's still not working. Okay? It's really not a money thing. Because you can have the best computers, you can have the best books, you can have the best teachers, you can have the best of everything. It is the mentality of the child sitting in the chair. They're the ones who have to do the work. And if they don't value what's going on in the place that they're in, if they think school sucks, if they think school's lame and they're not interested, and they have their own problems at home that make it superfluous to come to school, they forget it, man. You're fighting an uphill battle. Okay? And then, so now you have problem children. Okay? So without being accusatory, because it's really not the fault of any one department in the education system. You only have so much. So, like, for instance, you would like to say, okay, let's take all of these kids who have 504 issues and all these kids who have sped accommodations and modifications. Let's take them out of the regular class and go put them in a special class. Okay. You have special education. Those children are in a separate class because they have a legitimate educational handicap, like they're handicapped in a wheelchair or Down syndrome or any other impossible to sit in a regular class and do regular things. It's completely out of their realm of possibility. They are in a special class. My mother worked for years and just retired from special education. But now you're having kids who frankly need an ass whooping being given the denomination of special education, and they're not special education. They're special education. I give them a special education. Okay? And there are people who would argue against me and say, oh, that's the wrong mentality. Okay, that's what brought us to where we're at. No, this is not what brought us to where we're at. What brought us to where we're at is you saying that they're special education and treating them like they're special. Okay, that's what has brought us to where we're at, because now all of these kids are in the same class. And these special education kids are creating a discipline problem for the entire classroom. And then I can't educate because I have to babysit children who need a whooping. Because you want to say that they have a problem. And I get it. I get the legal problems. I get the debacle that this has been made into. It's a mess. And so how do you fix it? I have no idea. Like, I could start thinking about an idea, but you probably wouldn't like it. It would involve like a new branch of the military being created. It would require the government saying things like, "You are not a good parent, so we are going to take your kid and put them in military school." And there were a few people who were like, "Oh my God, civil liberties, Alexis. How could you say such terrible things?" Okay, so let's not go down that road. Instead, I will simply create my own school, and I will promote it to people who are like-minded like me and understand that I can help your kid get your GED if you start soon enough, right? If you are a parent who has a kid who's in middle school and you see what I see and you agree that public school is a mess, I can help educate your kid from a homeschooling perspective, and then only put in Texas, there are programs where you can homeschool your child and then they can go and complete high school curriculum tests and classes, right, for a short period of time towards the end of high school, get an actual high school diploma, and then go to college. Because sometimes GED is not enough to get you to college. But even with your GED, I can help you pass the SAT, the ACT. Or you want to go to Harvard, you want to go to Oxford, we can make that happen too. It's a personal thing. I'm going to personally work with you, right? I have my first student. I am personally working with her, right, to help her achieve that goal. And it's a trade. For her, it's free. I'm not charging her anything because I'm helping her do it so that way I can create this curriculum. So then I can say, okay, look, I can do this. I can get your kid a GED. I can get your kid into college. I can figure out what we have to do in your life to make that happen. The Lexicon of Purpose. My purpose is to help people better themselves. My purpose is to teach. My purpose is not to babysit your child. My purpose is not, I am wasted as a babysitter in a public school setting because I am way smarter than that. And also, I can't even properly babysit your child because your child needs a whooping. Like a whooping. I mean, a real whooping. Okay. And I am pro whooping your child. Okay. I whoop my own children. Okay. Like I will, as a father, I believe it is my responsibility to educate. Okay. So I would be completely forthcoming with you, right? I have 2 stepchildren, but I treat them like my daughters. I do not hit them because that's their father's job. And he does do his job as a father. He whoops them. Okay. And I whoop my child, right? Genesis is my baby, and I have whooped her butt. Okay. Because there's behavior that's acceptable and there's behavior that's unacceptable. And I believe in the Bible, and the Bible says, iron rod, baby. Whoop your child. If you love your child, you whoop your child. I can't be any more clear on that. So I want to educate people. See, and that's the trick. I almost said it. And what I was going to say was I want to educate kids who want to be educated, but that's actually not true. Because when I was a kid, I didn't want to be educated. Math and science. Well, I like science. That was not true. Math and reading, right? Boring, right? I don't want to do this. If you gave me the choice between watching or playing video games or reading any book, back when I was in middle school, I'll go middle school, right? If I had that choice, video games every time. In fact, to be completely honest, and my parents know, I would come home from school. It was like 3:00. I got home from school. And my parents didn't come home till sometimes 7:00, depending on the day. Okay. So you're talking about I had 3 to 4 hours of time. Okay. Do you think I came home and immediately started my homework? Come on, man. I never did that. I came home and I immediately played video games. Okay. And I would set an alarm for 5:00, right? Because between 5:00 and 7:00, my parents could be home at any time between those times. Like I knew there was no chance of them coming home before 5 o'clock. Okay, because they would only leave work like at 4 o'clock, and straight drive. Even if there was no traffic, it would still take them an hour and a half. Okay, and that's if they left right at 4 o'clock. And I knew that. I knew they were just time to travel. So I would set my alarm for 5. And at 5 o'clock, that's when I would start doing my stuff. Okay, I would do my homework, and hopefully my homework wasn't that much, so I'd have that done within 30 minutes so that I wasn't doing homework when my parents came home. Then I would be doing my chores, right? And I always did that because I wanted to give the impression that I've been working since 3 o'clock. Like I came home and I've just been doing homework and chores since I came home. And I don't think I ever fooled my parents. My mother was like, yeah, when I lived with her, we lived in the upstairs apartment, and she had the downstairs guy calling her to keep tabs on me because I was home alone. And he'd say, yeah, whenever it was getting close to you coming home, when there was like 30 minutes before you were going to come home, I'd hear him run around vacuuming and doing stuff. And that's how I was. Okay. But I did do it. Right. I set my own alarm because I was like, hey, mom's coming home. Hey, dad's coming home. I'm going to get in trouble if I don't do these things. So let me get to it. Right. But before that, I was just playing video games or watching TV or whatever. Right. Like I wasn't Johnny on the spot. And I'm sure my parents knew that, but they didn't care because I was doing what I was supposed to do. Like, okay, good. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Right. When he's doing it is not important. That he's doing it is important. And that was because I got whooped if I didn't do it, right? And so that's why I believe in whoopings. Whoop your children, man. Whoop them. Whoop them. Just whoop them, man. Okay? But I want to teach kids whose parents agree that it is their responsibility to educate their children. It is their responsibility to get you're not an educator. I get that, right? Like we have specialized job. We live in a specialized world. So, like for instance, I say that it is my responsibility to educate my children. Okay. As I want to take them out of public school. Like right now, I want to take them out. Okay. And I want to educate them myself right here in the house as a teacher. I want to do that, but I can't because I got to go to work. So that's rule number 1. If I create a school online, I can reach more people. Okay. You can follow my program and get your GED. You can follow my program, my curriculum, and learn how to do photography like I've done photography, and learn how to fly a drone and how to build a drone. These are all things I've done. So the things that I do, I can teach you how to do. And then I can go further because then I don't have to keep backtracking to these old lessons, right? You can just follow it. And depending on how big it gets, we can get to the point where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have class. Well, I need you to grade this and tell me how am I doing, right? I need somebody who's going to be on me. I need somebody who's going to, I need that push. Okay, I could give you that. That would probably be more expensive because I'm not going to give you that for $10 or $1, because that's my personal expertise every day coming in and dealing with you. But I could create those lessons, right? I am currently teaching 7 classes in school and like 5 classes online for my public school, right? It's like what is that? No, okay. Let's do real. Let's look at it. I never actually thought about it. One of my coworkers came to me and told me how many classes he had, and I was like, oh, really? I didn't think about it, right? But let's do the counting. Yeah, 6 classes during the day. 6 classes during the day. I have, 5 in-person sessions, and then 1 period that's the online period for all the online courses, and that's how many courses? 5 courses. So 11? Yeah, 11. 6 in school. No, I'm sorry, 5 in school, and then the 6 online. 11 courses. 11 courses I'm teaching now. 11 kids, 11 classes. Even if they're online, they're still kids whose papers I have to grade, whose work I have to take care of. Okay. The actual number, because that was the number I was looking at. I didn't look at, I don't look at the number of classes. But I was thinking about it now because it's like, okay, if I'm teaching 11 classes, and that's gross. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, like, only the kids who are in my physical class are receiving personal me sitting down and helping them kind of help. The kids who are doing it online, they're getting my videos and I'm grading their papers. That's it. And that's weak, man. So are they really being educated? It depends. They're getting good grades, so some of them might be doing the work. Some of them, mommy and daddy may be doing the work for them. I'm not on that side of the computer to tell you, right? Even if we have Zoom lessons, I've never seen their face because they don't turn their cameras on. Okay, it's bad, man. Like, I teach a fun class, robotics and programming and all that. Okay, and some of the kids are into it and some of the kids are great, and those are the kids whose parents discipline those kids and whose parents take responsibility for their child's education. That's, looking at your kids' grades. Why are you not getting, you're grounded on taking your phone, right? Like, real consequences. Okay, because I know some parents are, no, I don't want to hit my kid. Okay, don't hit your kid, right? Honestly, hitting your kid does not work anymore in middle school. So if you're in the middle school level and still having to hit your child, you've already messed up. Okay, and I know that might sound judgy, but there are bad parents. Like, I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, if your kid doesn't listen to you, if you take the stance of, I don't know what's wrong with this kid, then you're a bad parent. Okay. Actually, now that I think about it, that may not be fair, because I'm sure every one of us says that, right? Like, sometimes I wonder about my own kids, but when I look at my kids, it's like you're doing okay, you're good, right? In comparison to the kids that I teach, so it's like, okay, yeah, you're definitely a good kid. These kids are wild, right? But it's because we do discipline our children. The very act of disciplining your child is sometimes saying to yourself, what is wrong with this fucking kid? So it's not entirely fair to say if you're like, what's wrong with this kid, that you're a bad parent. But like if it's Maury Povich level, if it's Jerry Springer level, like, that's bad parenting. Like, I don't know how to explain that any better. But if my child goes to school and has bad behavior, she is then disciplined. If my child goes to school and gets bad grades, she is then disciplined. She does not happy about that, changes the behavior or improves her grade, and there we go. Problem solved. The kids that I deal with, I will directly talk to their parents. Their parent will say, oh, I'll get on him. And the very next day, this kid does not change. He does not care, or she does not care. They don't care, because I don't know what discipline these parents are using, but it is not working. If I were to get a phone call home, my parent would have made my butt so sore I wouldn't want to sit down. And if I had a cell phone, because that was back before cell phones existed, if I had a cell phone, they would have smashed the cell phone into bits. Okay. My father threw my Super Nintendo out the window. Real talk, actual flying out the window. There it goes. And that sounds extreme, but that's what my father did when I did not listen to him. So, and then I listened to him after that. Oh, okay. Right. So you may say to yourself, oh, this kid is crazy. He's not listening to me, and throws your thing out the window. I thought my dad was crazy to do that, right? But oh, uh, okay, Dad, I'm sorry. It's in a behavior adjustment. I don't know how else to impart it. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay, but I said 30 minutes or 35 minutes. And that's what we're talking about here. I am starting my own school because I only really want to educate kids who have parents who deal with the discipline. That's your job. It is not my job to discipline your child. It is not my job to be a babysitter. I don't have a master's degree in babysitting. Okay? I don't. And I'm good at it. I could babysit your child, but how is that helping educate? That's not an education. That's a babysitting, right? If I have to, real talk, if I have to sit here in front of your kid and watch them do their work so that way they actually do their work, then we're not getting to the big stuff, guys, because you're dealing with the baby stuff. Okay? It's like baby, I can't. Actually, this is the perfect explanation because I just thought about it. And I'm going to end with this. I have 6 periods. Okay. We'll cut the line one out. So I have 5 periods. Okay. The first period is the best period because I don't have any of the sped children in there. There's no troublemakers. There's no problem children that I have to discipline on a regular basis. So those kids are very far ahead. They've completed their robots and they've moved into drones. Okay. The last period of the day, which is also traditionally the worst because now they're antsy and want to go home. Okay. That one is filled with all of the sped kids. None of those kids have completed. Actually, I'm sorry. No, that's not fair. One of them. But he was silently working by himself in the corner. He was the one kid doing the job. The rest I have to babysit to get them to do basic, boring 3D prints that are like keychains and name tags. Okay. No real challenge, no real difficulty level. It's baby work. It's like coloring ceramics, and I might as well just hand out coloring books and just color the lines, guys. Okay, because even doing that is pulling teeth. I have to sit with them and I have to stay on task, sit down, stay on task. Okay, let me call your mother because you're not behaving. You're jumping up and running around the room. This is what I have to do. That's teaching. That's teaching. That's not teaching. That's babysitting. Sit down, do your work. Sit down, do your work. Sit down, do your work. That's what I'm doing. That's a waste of time. I don't have a master's degree to do that. Okay? And that's the fundamental problem with the education system. Good teachers are not going to teach children that they have to discipline all the time. Right? Why do I have a master's to babysit? Why? I want to do high level stuff, flying drones, solving real problems, teaching real things that are going to help you get real jobs in the future. Even 3D printing, it's like, okay, let's talk about making a real action figure. Okay? Practical applications. How do we create something with a 3D print that solves a real world problem? Can we 3D print a heart? Now that may not be middle school level, but that if I have my own school, I'm not confined to middle school level. I can do all levels. If I have my own school, I'm not babysitting children and telling them sit down and behave and I want to call your mommy. No, mommy is, you can do that as a parent from home. Your child can be educated at home if you can control your child. I believe that if I had my children home, okay, I could be on them personally here myself. I could be on them to educate them. And that would be my job, right? Now, I said I was going to end on that, but I actually just thought about this one too. Some parents are good parents and they send their kid to school because I can't leave my kid home, right? Because what did I just say? The kid is not going to do the work by themselves, okay? That's where the relationship comes in. I gotta look at the camera. That's where the relationship comes in. Because you can. You can if the teacher is exclusively working with you, right? See, right now, it doesn't work. Like if you, in the pandemic, it didn't work because parents, you know, like my daughter was here, right? And my wife was in the house, but she said to me, hey, I can't do my work because my wife is a real estate agent, so she works at home. She goes, I can't sit with Alexis and do her homework, do her schoolwork with her on the computer because I have to do my own real estate work, right? So this isn't working because if I don't sit down and push Alexis and make sure she's doing well stuff, she's not doing good. And she wasn't doing good. She wasn't doing good with online. So if you are a parent that says, yeah, my kid doesn't do good with online, and then I have to be home to do it, it doesn't work. It does work. The teacher has to then have a personal relationship with you and a personal relationship with the kid. Okay. This is the expectations. This is what we're going to do. The parent knows and the kid knows. The kid sits down. Okay, this is your responsibility. Every day you're going to log in. This is what you're going to do, right? If the kid doesn't log in, hey, your kid didn't log in. What's going on? I communicate with the parent. With that kind of an education level, with that kind of a program, it would work. Now, that's where I want this school to go, right? That's where I'm moving to. So that way I can conduct class right from my home, right? So instead of having 25 kids at home, or 25 kids in school, I have 25 kids at home. And I sit here on my computer and I communicate with them, right? And we can do these things. And then for those kids who can do it themselves, or as you get a little bit older, right? Because as you get older, you know, yeah, to expect an elementary school kid or a middle school kid to sit down and do this kind of thing, not without a lot of work going into it on both sides. Okay, there has to be a relationship. But this is how I started. I'm going to help you get your GED. $1 for all the curriculum. When it's done, then we'll set the pricing and we'll go from there. Let me build that personal relationship with people. What do you want to learn? Right? I can make those videos specifically. Okay. This is what we're talking about. That's my purpose, to educate. That's my purpose. The Lexicon of Purpose. My purpose is to help you achieve your purpose, to educate you to do what you want to do what you are on this earth to do. What are you trying to do? To help. But I'm tired of trying to help people who don't want to be helped. I'm tired of trying to teach people who don't want to be taught. Parents who don't care about school, sending kids who don't care about school to school, makes school hard for everybody there. And at this point, I'm tired of it. Like, if you don't care about education, then you're not worth me. Like, I'm master's guy, right? Like, I have more than do you want to send your child to a babysitter if you want your child to be babysat. Okay? Don't send them to me because I'm a high level educator. It's like you know, I don't know if I can say it any other way. I don't know if I can say it any other way. At 45 minutes, we're going to leave that. Thank you for having a long attention span and watching the entire video. If you liked it, like it, because now we're actually promoting on YouTube. So if you like my video, like it. If you hit that thumbs up, tell people that you like my stuff. Share my videos. You know, let's try to change the purpose. Let's try to help the people who need to be helped. Right? If you want it, let's do it.